If I have to interview somebody important,
So you're nervous right now.
no, like
Let me just take a second for that to sink in. You're nervous.
I'm very nervous.
Can I cut
This
it?
is the most exciting.
Right, this is the most exciting one. And action.
Did you always want to do that on set?
Yeah, I wanted to.
Did they let anybody do it?
Yeah, but they would do the clap, the hand
Who was
clap.
that?
The camera guys.
No, but did they ever let you guys do it? No.
No.
Never
But
a
I
part
would
of the
go
fun.
like this. I'd be like, and action.
Hello, Carina. How are you? We've got Carina from Maps. Fan favourites?
Am I?
You are to me.
Your only fan. Hi. Thank
How
you.
you going?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Maps, why'd you decide to go on the show?
That is a very good question. I ask myself that every day. No, I'm kidding. So I was in a long-term relationship. So in my 20s, I really lived my life. I made sure I lived overseas. I learned so many different things about life and I had amazing opportunity and experiences. And then as I came back due to COVID, I was like, okay, it's time for me to settle down. And I met my ex-partner. And it was serious and I thought I was going to marry him. Like he was the one. And unfortunately it didn't work out. I sold my house. He sold his house. We moved in together and we wanted to buy something together. I was like, all right, where's the engagement ring? Let's go. And it just unfortunately didn't happen that way. Then I was severely heartbroken and I got poached for the show. And I was like, I went to clairvoyance, I went to church. I was like, I need to figure this all out. And then it just came my way, so I surrendered. And I was like, I'm going to just take the opportunity. I spoke to my family about it and Mum was like, just do it, Carina, do it. So yeah.
And do you have any regrets?
No regrets at all. I didn't really think about the aftermath of what I was getting myself into. I just thought of like, you know, a new opportunity. When I spoke to the experts about who I wanted to be put with, I said, it was very evident because I'm kind of scarred from my past relationship. I was like, I don't want anyone in Perth. Don't match me with someone in Perth.
Why?
Because I always wanted to figure it out with someone else over East. I don't know. I think because I've just been so blessed in life and my experiences and coming from like a family business, I always wanted to kind of, I don't know, what's the word where you like, you want to go against what you were raised to do? What's that word? Like you go against it because you have it quite easy. Does that make sense?
Like going against the grain?
Yeah, going against the grain, being the black sheep of the family. Yeah. So I was like, no, I want to, you know, go over east. It's massive in Sydney and Melbourne and that kind of thing. So yeah, no regrets about doing this. I met incredible people from the production side to the rest of the cast and people like you. If I stayed in my 9 to 5 working at my family business, I wouldn't have met you.
Yeah. And you walk down that aisle, you see Paul standing there.
Yeah.
Someone you had slept with many times before.
No, I hadn't slept
Let's
with him.
get to the bottom of that. What happened? So
Bible,
you knew
I'm not kidding you. I did not sleep with him. We went on one hike. We matched on Bumble. We had conversations. We FaceTimed because he was working away. And we went on one hike, which 1 hour led into like a couple of hours. And we had 2 coffees. It was a boiling hot day in Perth. And we did a hike. And that was it.
Yeah. And then, so did you guys want to seriously give it a shot? What, like, did you guys have any conversations? Like, was there a sacred pact? What was the go with you guys?
When we found out?
When you were matched together, like...
No
okay,
secret pact at all. It was kind of like, okay, maybe we're meant to be put here for a reason. Believe it or not, I had not seen Paul in Perth for like 6 months. Since that day I saw him, right? After the hike, did not see him. And I kind of like forgot about him. I didn't even follow him on Instagram. We had each other at first. And then in the new year, I was like, I don't need him. So I unfollowed him and then he unfollowed me. I know games. And then hadn't seen him. And while I was going through the process, I'm not kidding you, the Sunday before I was flying out to Sydney for the hens party, I was in the city. I was like, I'll quickly park up on the street. It was a 15-minute parking. Got out of my car and guess who I walked straight by? Him. And I'm like, that is so weird. So weird because I hadn't seen him for such a long time, and then I randomly walked past him the Sunday before I was flying out to go to Sydney for the hens party. Weird.
Yeah. And your maths journey didn't happen overnight. There was a lot of planning involved.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
As in the 10 years of my life, or
Well, no, just the 10
finding...
years. Well, I don't know how long you were planning to go on
I
maths.
was like, it hadn't been.
What was?
I've never
Tell
watched
me.
it.
So tell me about your plan. Well, a lot of effort went into it.
Yeah.
I mean, you had your wardrobe outfits plan. You
Yeah.
reached out to Jacob, who's here now.
Yeah. Jacob, my hairstylist.
Maybe
who's
we
a
need to
really
get
good
him in
friend.
on it.
We do. I feel like Jacob needs to quickly pop in and answer that question for you, Ali. But to be fair, I had never watched the show before, and I thought that was a great thing because I wasn't referencing each week and each task and being like, oh, this is, you know, the confessions week, and then this is another week, and then you've got the home visits and you've got the couples. I didn't know any of that, so I really threw myself into the deep end. I'm not kidding you. I did not reference anything. My biggest thing is like when I was speaking to the experts and all the producers to doing the auditions, I was like, I want the Martha and Michael dream. Like that's what I want. If I'm going on the show, I want it to be longevity. I want to move in with that person. I want to have a family with that person, and I want to grow with that person, whether it be bigger business opportunities, travel the world, or whatever it is. But yeah, so with the planning for each week's, it's given that you have to have your outfits for production to approve them.
Yeah.
So, you know, they say you can't wear labels, you can't really wear a lot of patterns for stroking the camera purposes, and also they have to blur things out if you do wear labels. So I was very like, oh gosh, my whole wardrobe is neutral, or black and white and beige and cream. So I was like, damn it, I need to buy color. And they really, you know, put the pressure on you about wearing color. And I don't like color, but anyway. So I was like, I need for myself, because I love fashion, I love getting dressed up. That's just who I am. I think that's a beautiful trait to have. It shows that you're time conscious. You're a hygienist. You take care of yourself. You have pride in how you dress and look. So it kind of reflects on how you feel. It's a mood thing. So there's so many like ticking things that you got to tick off the bucket list to feel good and to like, you know, elevate yourself and elevate your personality and identity. So yeah, and it's something so minuscule like making sure you look presentable. And it's like when you work in a corporate world, you're not going to rock up with like, you know, your tie untied and your white shirt's dirty. No, you're going to make sure that you've had your shirt, you iron it, it's cleaned and washed and it's fresh to go.
But you're waking up at 4 a.m. to do so.
I know, of course.
So tell me about that.
I think that's admirable to be like that. I made sure, you know, bear in mind we had the call times. We were given the call times the night before. So here I am messaging Jacob and Vincent at like 11 p.m. being like, okay, guy, and I was nervous. I'm not good with like confrontation. I'm a bit of an avoidant. So I either will just like procrastinate and just like not text or not keep them informed. And Jacob would blow up my phone, be like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? What time's call time? As soon as I would get it, I would be like, shit, it's a really early call time. And, you know, they live far away from where I was.
How does that work? Because they film you guys waking up for the dinner parties.
Waking up to the dinner parties.
Or do they just film you getting ready?
No, so you have your call time and you have to be 90% ready. So the extra 10% is you put your jewelry on, you're doing like your lipstick fix-ups or mascara or putting some blush on or putting your shoes on.
So how does that work for you when you've got curfews?
Yeah.
So were you like begging producers to say, I need to be, how did that work? Were you just going rogue and saying?
No, not going
like,
rogue.
Tell me
Made sure I got approval. So I would have to inform the house AP because they would say, are you going out to get hair and makeup done? I said, yep, I'm getting my hair and makeup done. Had to tell them the location. Jacob lived quite far away. So then we actually, towards the end of the season, we went to Vincent's house, which was only 10 minutes away because, you know, Jacob's got his whole studio and everything. And then so you inform them, you say how long you're going to be, and then they say pretty much yes or no. But it was always a yes because I made sure that I was back in time, gave myself like an extra 15 minutes and made sure that I was in time for call time. There was one situation, one week where my call time ended up changing and I was all the way in Abbotsbury, which was like 45, 50 minutes away. And House AP called me and they're like, Carina, where are you? And I was like, I'm still in the makeup chair. Like Jacob hasn't even done my hair. And I was freaking out. She goes, no, your call time's been changed. You got to get back to the apartments. And I was like, but my call time is later on. And she goes, no, it's been changed. We need you to come because we're going to start filming earlier. And I was like, shit. I was freaking out. And then my producer called me and I was like, I won't be long. I'll get in an Uber. And Jacob, that's when he had the 10 minutes to do my hair. He's like, we literally had 10 minutes in one of the TikToks he did. And that was that time. It was like pumping under pressure and I was freaking out. You could see sweat was falling everywhere. But we made it work. They were okay.
Poor Jacob.
I know. The pressure that he was under, I thought I was under a lot of pressure every day filming, but no, Jacob woke up at like 3 a.m. Some days was when he would get up because he has to put together his makeup kit. He needs to, his hair kit, get on the road or wherever it would be. It was like full on.
Hello.
Hi. Oh my God, everyone's here.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh my God.
How are you? Oh my
Really good,
God.
really good.
Wow, looking spunky.
Hey,
thanks.
I'll see you later. Are you going to do Sky or what are you going to do?
Yeah.
All right.
Do I just head over there now?
Yeah, I've sent you the details.
Oh, okay.
This
But-
is great. Hi, Josh.
Yeah.
Do I just Uber
Oh,
over there?
okay.
What is it?
Do I just Uber over there?
Adrian was going to drive if he was going to go. Otherwise, I can sort your Uber. Who? Adrian? He was. Sorry, we'll continue with this chat.
Sorry.
Okay, no, all good.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
When are you leaving? Or are you staying in Sydney? Oh.
Yeah. Maybe we'll catch up tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks for the invite.
No, come. We're going to go to my girlfriend Nilofer. We're going to go Double Bay.
Oh, okay. All
Ali
right.
knows that I love Double Bay.
All right.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so Elliot loves Double Bay as well.
All right. Do you want me to, or if you get the Uber, I can reimburse you. All right.
Bye. Bye. See you later.
Okay, cool. So, what's your relationship like with the girls? There was a lot of drama at the retreat.
Yeah, lots of drama. I'm really close with Veronica, Ash, and Katie. Those girls are so lovely. We all check in on one another. They reach out to me. They'll separately send me a text message when they've watched an episode and it hasn't been great for me that week. So I find that that's a real friendship. I was in a maths group chat with Afina, Jamie, Beth, Ree, Katie and myself. And after that retreat, I was like, wow. First of all, I witnessed a lot of voxies that were, pretty
Was this
full
after
on.
it aired? Or
Yeah, after it aired.
After it aired.
Yeah.
So you've evicted
Yeah.
yourself from the group chat?
Yeah, I just said I know who my real friends are. I've got my circle. I've got my family. People who know me, and they know the person that I am and what I bring to the table. And all I want is to spread love. Like I'm not a fake person. It might look like I'm fake, but I like to just take pride in my appearance. But I'm genuinely like an empath and I care so much about everyone. And people have been writing comments, a friend to all is a friend to none. So what kind of message are you trying to spread? Like there's so many hate comments out there right now and it's like, don't you want to spread good love to the world? Like it's already such a dark, negative place. Why do you want to add more negativity to the world?
So how did you cope with all of that? Like there was a lot of
tough.
backlash.
Yeah. It went, especially when the real story or like there's more context to the story about what actually went down at the couples retreat. So it's like I'm having to fend and kind of like explain myself about what actually happened, which is so not cool and it's unnecessary and unfair for me because I apologized to Jamie to her face a few times. But specifically at the couples retreat, the last night, Rhea and I went up to her. The cameras followed us. We were on the porch in front of the kitchen and we both apologized to Jamie.
So why didn't they... So, okay,
I don't
This
know.
is weird because I heard that you actually apologized to her
Yeah.
earlier,
Yeah.
but then she didn't accept it because she wanted an apology on camera. But you're saying that you guys did go apologize
Yeah, of
on
course.
camera and they didn't show it.
Yeah,
So like,
they didn't show that. So maybe she expected me to say it to her, but then she said she didn't receive a call or a message over like the break,
Yeah.
not on camera. So I'm confused. I genuinely thought that we had squashed it and put it to bed and that we were friends. Like we only caught up a few months ago, all of us girls in Melbourne, and it was great. Like all of us were getting along really well. Obviously, I'm not the closest to Jamie. I have Ree, and her and I just click
Yeah.
instantly, and that's okay. Like Jamie and Afina are close, and that's okay as well. But I thought we were all platonic and good friends. You know, she was so happy to accept the Drake tickets that I managed to get, which wasn't easy to do, especially last minute. But then in an interview, once the episode had aired, she kind of dried me out and said that we're not friends. And I was like, whoa, this is news to me. So I don't know.
all right, while we're on the Drake topic, gotta ask. Actually, I wrote that article that you spotted having lunch with Drake. So my sources tell me that you were there and you were hanging out with his crew and hanging out with Drake. And they even paid for your lunch, I hear. So
Yeah.
what can you tell me about that?
You've read it. You wrote it.
Yeah, I know, but I need to know what you can tell me about it.
You know, where I'm very blessed because my girlfriend Chloe has known his crew for years, for 8 years actually.
Yeah.
And she lived in London. They live in Toronto. She, you know, did so many amazing things with them, and just, it was insane hearing her stories and how she has lived her life, and generally are really good friends with all his crew, like from his soundos to his productions to like Chubbs, who's Drake's best friend, but they're just generally friends. And then she managed to tee it all up, and you know, I'm friends with some of the boys because I used to live in New York as well, like DJ Spade. He's a really good friend of mine. I've known him for so many years, but that was back in the day from like clubbing days, and obviously he came on tour, so we just all reconnected. And then Carnage, who's Gordo now, he's like Drake's.
Sorry, I have no idea.
You have no
any of
idea.
these-
Anyway, so
yeah.
I've known him for years as well. But to answer your question, we're all friends. We all hang out, and it's just it was easy. It was such a fun tour, and we went to all of not all of them. We did Melbourne, Perth, Sydney, and Gold Coast, Brisbane. But it was fun.
I did notice, and you mentioned it, you were at the Drake concert with the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
But I didn't see photos of you guys together. I saw a group photo with the girls, but
Yeah.
you weren't in that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Do you know how hard it was to get tickets, let alone 6 tickets? So I managed to get 4, and then Chloe got 2 more. So the ones that Chloe got were the GA standing, and then the ones that I got for the girls were right behind the sound crew and where like all production was, which was incredible. But it was like up in the grandstand, but it was like VVIP kind of tickets.
Like right by the stage.
Right by
yeah.
the stage, right behind the sounder, and Dimitri, who does all the sound, and he works with Usher, he does all of them. It was, so, you know, I was like, girls, you take those tickets, and then me and Chloe will have the other ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I saw it from a place, like a kind gesture. You know, I wanted them all to experience it, and it was a fun concert at the end of the day.
So I got to go back to the retreat.
Yeah.
Do you regret getting involved in the Baganic
Yeah.
scandal?
Yeah. It kind of didn't go the way I thought it would go. I don't know how, first of all, I got involved. Maybe because I didn't open my mouth. Maybe because I just sat there. And bear in mind, that whole fight went for a couple of hours. Like that
That would have been draining.
Like it was draining. So
Yeah.
obviously they only put the last minute or so on air, but there was a lot more context to it, and there was a lot of questions, you know, flying Lauren's way, and I could see it all unfolding right in front of my eyes. So if any of the other girls were in that position and one of them walked out, or if I walked out, or if Ree walked out, I would expect the rest of the girls to come up to me and and see if I'm okay. Or if it was Jamie in that position and she walked out because she felt like she was getting bombarded with questions and got quite felt like that they were invasive and she felt uncomfortable and like she didn't have to owe anyone answers and they need to respect the boundaries, I would go up to Jamie if she walked out as well, or Ree, whoever it is. Like, it was more coming from a place like, are you okay? And you can see it in the snippet outside where Ree and I and Lauren were there. I said, the girls are trying to come from a good place to help your relationship blossom. But what we don't understand is like, Lauren did come in, and I'm not condoning her poor effort of discussing words that came out of her mouth, but coming back into the experiment, getting married twice, that's never happened before. Everyone progresses a relationship at different stages. So maybe her and Clint, like she came with Elliot and then it faded so quickly. Coming back in, maybe she had her walls up or her guard up and wanted to just take it slow. Who knows what she was thinking in her head. But yeah, I do regret, even just listen, because I listened. I actually listened, and apparently, bit me in the bum. I don't know.
Well, I think you had the right intentions.
Yeah, right intentions, and maybe it just didn't come across correctly.
Like, do you think Lauren's a bitch?
Aspects of her, absolutely. I didn't know all the words that she was saying when you watch it all, because again, we don't see anything. We just watch it when everyone else watches it. The stuff that she was saying to Clint, one-on-one, at like laying on the daybed, the stuff that she was saying in her Voxies, she didn't say that stuff to my face.
Yeah.
Like, I just see the best in everyone, and probably that's my issue. Like, I'm too naive and too sheltered and too friendly. But generally, her and I learn about Lauren, and that's all I want out of people. I love to ask them questions, what they do for work, like who inspires them, what inspires them, like their careers, whatever it is, family dynamic. And that's where I'm coming from. The night of the hens party, Lauren and I gravitated towards each other, as well as Ree, because we were all so cold. And I learned so much about Lauren and her job and what she does for work.
Yeah.
Her gift wrapping company, and she just got back from Europe. She was traveling. Like, I learned all that stuff because I genuinely asked her questions. But I also learned things about all the other girls as well. Again, I asked them questions. Jackie, I could tell you, a whole book about Jackie in her past life and what she does for her career.
What do you make of Jackie?
I like Jackie. I like all the girls. I generally do get along with Jackie. I don't have any bad blood against her. Am I close with her? No, I'm not close with her. But when I interacted with Jackie behind scenes and why, you wait around a lot in the tents or like I'm sure you would have seen that video, we sit for quite some time. I genuinely got along with her, and that's that,
And I did see... Paul had a lot to say in his letter.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? Like, do you feel like he threw you under the bus completely?
Absolutely. I think it was kind of an invasion of privacy between a couple. When you get in a relationship with someone, you should feel a place of safety and security, as like they're your security blanket. You can be unhinged or a little bit unfiltered and just word vomit what you have to say about anything. You might have a really bad day at work and your boss is pissing you off. Vent it to your partner and not think that he's going to throw it in your face. Go email the boss and say, oh, Carina, or my wife or partner really thinks you're a bad person. Like, change up your ways, make the work environment better place to work in, or whatever it is. Like, you don't think that they're going to have ill intentions towards you. And it was just unfortunate that, like, I felt a bit blindsided by Paul and what he said. That was not meant to be said. And yes, it doesn't, like, the comment that I said wasn't the nicest comment, but there was, again, a lot of context behind that. Paul didn't inform me that he knew Afina. It was very evident that we were going through, like, the leaked article the night before the first dinner party, and it had all the other contributors. And Afina was on there, and he just didn't recognize her, he said, didn't recognize her. And then as it kept getting brought up throughout the episodes,
so when did you actually find out that he dated Venus' sister?
The first dinner party. because we came into the cocktail party and he goes, oh, like, hi, Afina. And then Fina was like, hi, Paul. And I was like, oh. I was like, you guys know each other. Perth, duh, makes sense. And then it turns out, he goes, oh, no, or she said it. He dated my twin sister. And I was like, oh, whoa. I was like, okay. Obviously, production caught on to that. And in Voxies, they were asking me questions. Oh, you look similar to Afina's sister. But to be fair, Cleo looks very identical to Afina, but she's brunette. You're brunette. What do you think about that? And I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm just shocked that he didn't care to tell me, but he was so okay about telling me random past facts about who he dated back in Perth, but that was okay, but then this wasn't okay. So again, there was a lot of context and it kept being brought up. Then a few weeks later said, oh, he was like, I didn't want production to tell me off because I told you. And I was like, what the, your words are not matching up. Like, what? It doesn't make sense to me. So that's a bit of a weird one. But anyway,
I got to ask, obviously Paul had a massive problem with you dating or hooking up with Quavo.
Yeah.
Like, what do you make of that?
Okay, so I didn't think anything of it at the time because background story was Ree, Jeff, myself and Paul were out day drinking. It was so much fun. It was our weekend off and we all got along really well. Like we are close, us four. And we had been drinking all day and just bantering. And then in the Uber on the way home, I was playing like songs requests, and we were filming and we were playing karaoke. Like, it was funny. And yeah, okay, I quickly made that comment. Everyone laughed about it and like kind of fobbed it off.
Paul's reaction at the time?
Sorry. He was, I just burped.
Thanks.
No. He just fobbed it off. Like, he didn't say, oh, I'm embarrassed, or he didn't scold me for it. He didn't tell me off for it. He just fobbed the comment off and laughed like everyone else did. It wasn't until we got back to the apartments where I could tell he was like, you know, it was kind of brewing in his brain. And I was like, wow, what's going on? Are you okay? Like, let's talk about it. And then just one thing led to another. But he was so okay with telling me so many things about his past relationships, specifying names and girls that I know in Perth that he had dated and didn't work out with them. But yeah, obviously I was learning his boundaries and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. But that's what you do when you're getting to know someone and, you know, you've been thrown into this environment of an experiment where you really don't know the person. So yeah, boundaries and understanding, okay, what's respectful, what's not.
Yep. Obviously the incident happened.
Yeah.
Where, like, how did you feel about it at the time? How did you... was there a point where you considered leaving or not really?
Not at all, because, you know, there were a lot of things that were implemented by production, a lot of policies and protocols. We got sat down and we got a big speaking to by a head of production and the executive team. And, you know, they were very firm, being like, you know, giving us the hard yards, and this is serious. This is a serious matter. This has never happened before. You know, I don't think neither Paul and I understood what the repercussions were. I don't know much. I'm not educated on domestic violence. That's something I definitely want to take an avenue and a route down. Like, I want to, you know, speak out with, you know, domestic violence charities or mental health, or learn more about that whole sector, because I do need to educate myself. What are, you know, some ways that I can help spread awareness in a positive light about this happening to other people? Because I've had women come up to me randomly and saying like, oh, like, you know, all these things, showing me examples of what they've gone through, like photos, and being like, I've been divorced, I got out of that relationship, I ended it with this person, this is what's happened. Like, these are some signs, like these are the first initial signs. And I'm just like mind blown that this, just word vomit can potentially lead to something even greater down the
Yeah.
line if it keeps going.
So have you learned from your experience?
Absolutely. I've learned that it's serious and it can't be like looked down on or like kind of swept under the rug. It needs to be spoken about. It can,
Did you have that conversation with Paul? Like, did you say, hey, Paul, like between you and him?
yeah.
And say, that's not cool, like, I don't like it? Or how did that conversation, did you have that conversation?
Oh gosh,
like,
we're going back a long time
I
now.
don't know, I'm just asking.
We definitely, I came from a point of view like, why did I have to escalate? And I was like, this is coming across very dramatic, because he was kind of throwing it onto me and not at first initially like accepting his actions, because he was basically saying like, I put the, I put it out there, and then he's being responsive from the words that I said.
Reacting to it,
yeah. Reacting. But I said to him, like, we need, like, it was very dramatized. Like, it probably didn't need to blow up the way it blew up. I was trying to suppress the situation and just talk and speak about it and figure it out. Because, again, I have learned from my past relationships of like bottling things in is just not okay, and then like it will stay with you for months and months, and then it will be a massive blow up. So I've worked on myself, and I've understood how to like be a bit more healthy, or be healthier in a relationship, and I've worked on myself, and that's the biggest thing for me. So I had identified like how he was responding, and I was like, let's talk about it, let's figure this out. But then he didn't want that. So yeah, afterwards I think he then like was able to resonate with what I was coming through and how I was like trying to speak to him about it and be like, that's not okay, but I do feel safe with you in the same apartment. I could see he was super remorseful.
Yeah, we did see that, yeah.
So yeah.
And be honest, did you practice your snob reaction in the mirror?
Wow, that was I know, geez, I was like, well, I don't even know how to respond to that. I was shocked because he couldn't say it to me to my face, but that's something, again, he could have spoken to me about. If this was brewing and he was getting annoyed about certain things, talk to me about it so we can, we can work on it, or I can work on my behavior or my traits and try and do better in the experiment. But that was the first time I had heard him say that.
And where do you stand with Paul at the moment?
We're friends.
Yeah, and I'm just asking,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why do you look at me like that with a question mark?
Am I meant? Do people know?
No, this is
Oh,
good for the
okay.
end, so I'm not
Yeah.
going to drop it now. But
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
I'm just asking where
Yeah.
you guys stand.
No, I have no ill intentions towards Paul. There's no bad blood. I was so blessed that we were put together throughout the experiment, because we lived so well together, and we went through this whole experience, which was fantastic, and I couldn't have asked for a better partner. We were both like respectful of one another. We both understood one another. We both were OCD hygienists and clean freaks around the apartments. We were, it was great to have him. So yeah, we're friends. I wish him all the best, and I hope he finds who he's looking for.
And at this stage of the show, were you guys living your happily ever after? Like, were you the
Before-
strongest? No, so at this point, like what's happening on TV right now,
Yeah.
what was your relationship really like?
It was up and down. I felt like it was your body's in fight and flight mode, because every week you're getting thrown tasks your way, which is like even more elevated than maybe the real world. So if you can conquer the experiment, you could potentially smooth sail in the real world. Yeah, you'll be hit with financial difficulties or family issues or friendship issues or career issues, but what we got, what came our way was pretty hard hitting, that I'm just like, I don't think I'll be faced with, is the grass greener on the other side in the real world? Or if you have issues in your relationship, you'll go to another couple's partner and stay with them overnight, especially if they're married. In the real world, you wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
You'll converse and confide in your best friend or your siblings or your parents or whatever it is, but not to another male who's married.
And next week, Paul does make that stupid decision.
Yeah.
What was going through your head? How did it unfold? Like, they brought you up individually. You got asked. Did you have we know what your reaction,
Yeah.
your answer was.
Yeah.
Did you have any any doubt?
No self-doubt within myself, but I had no self-doubt, but I said in the Voxy to my producer, I said, if Paul does this and says yes, he's got bricks in his head and he is not staying in the apartment tonight. Like, we are finito, we are done. And I was like, no, he's not going to do it. He's going to be in the next apartment. He's going to be reading a book or whatever it is. He's not that thick, right? But unfortunately, yeah.
Sorry, one sec. Oh yeah, I've sent it to him.
Jacob, any other things I should say?
I've
about
sent.
that?
Ali said he sent you the number, bro.
Like, I don't know. Is it?
So no, what I want to talk about is, well, you sort of answered my next question, which
Yeah.
was that you wanted, and then, okay, the moment you learnt he did it,
Oh,
was that heartbreaking for you?
Yeah.
Like, how did you,
yeah.
was
I
that
had
when you
strong
knew
feelings for him.
it was over?
I think the biggest thing is that I was so patient with Paul throughout the whole experiment. We both, again, we were in that phase of going on dates, doing things outside of the weeks, and on the weekends we were doing things together. So it was like a real relationship. Like, everything that you do on the outside world, we were implementing and enjoying together in the experiment. Because it's kind of hard. Your brain needs to kind of adapt to what's real and what's fake. It's really weird. It's really weird how your brain is just like, whoa, blowing up. It's a real weird experience. I can't explain it. I can't. But just the week before he had come into my family home, that's very serious for me, especially living in separate bedrooms. And
Yeah, that was pretty fun to watch, to be honest.
And I think, that adds such
How
great...
cute is your mum, by the way?
I love my mum. They really did keep going in on the religion thing. She was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, that we actually filmed so much other stuff as well, but they didn't incorporate that, but that's okay. Look, I think, the world needs more of like that. That's why there is so many like early divorces and families not staying together and broken, unfortunately, homes. It's like, where are the values? Like, where are the strong, like our generation, we are so lost in the world. Like, are there still people that can be married for 30 plus years? I was talking to Jacob about it. He's so inspired by his parents because they've been married for 30 plus years. Mine have been married for 47 years. Like, is that non-existent in today's day and age moving forward? So I think, like, I wanted to implement those rules of us sleeping in separate bedrooms because, first of all, it's my parents' home. It's a respect thing, and it's being under their roof. Like, it doesn't get much straighter than that. So, I really took it serious. We had such a great time back home in our normal environment. He fitted so well in with my family. He got along so well with my relatives and my siblings, and he met my nieces and nephews, and it was amazing. He loved my dog. So yeah, when I heard and saw that he had come back and he went on the date, I was just like, are you for real? Like, I was questioning myself, my own self-worth. Am I not good enough? Am I not pretty enough? Do I not look like the type of girl he would go for? Like, do I need to be blonde and real tall and skinny? Like, am I not the person for him? So I was really in my own brain, and I was racking my brain being like, am I not good enough for this person?
That's really sad to
it was
hear
a
that, to be
mental
honest.
mind game. It really was. Yeah.
I should have asked about your sex life before that question, maybe.
I thought the sex life was great. We were really, it was good. We had just, been intimate. He bought me flowers. He would always come back with like a coffee and a croissant. He would always offer me a croissant. I'd be like, no, I'll just eat the eggs. Like he would be like, are you sure you don't want a croissant? I'm like, nah, I would love one, but I shouldn't. So he would always bring a coffee up, like little things like that. Obviously, it's like a big tip.
I think you guys were one of the strongest couples that I would see on the weekends.
Yeah.
Obviously, towards the end, there was Adrian and Athena, Jeff and Ree, but I didn't see, like, you guys were on the stronger side.
We were.
Yeah.
And we really were like talking about the outside world, and, you know, we both had moved back home because I sold my house and then I moved in with my ex-partner a while ago. And then once we broke up, I moved back to my parents' house.
Yeah.
And then I was there for a few months and whatever, and time had gone by, and then I got casted and I was like, wow, okay. So Paul had done the same. He had moved back to his parents' house and we were speaking. I said to him, I was like, would you consider moving to Sydney or over east together? And he said,
Yeah, I know, 'cause
absolutely.
there was plans for you guys to both move.
Yes.
So.
We were like, we'll
Yeah.
find an apartment together. We'll just do different stuff, like do a different job, whatever it is. Like we had outgrown Perth and it was perfect. But then unfortunately, you know, yeah, it's scary because now I'm like closed off. I'm like, wow, it hasn't worked out. I'm actually scared. I'm scared to open up again. I'm scared to like, you know, go down the avenue. So right now I'm just like figuring it out myself.
Sorry. We might have to pause it because I want to get Jacob in before he has to leave.
Yeah, Jacob.
Pedro, do you think it's fine if I will just... Is he fine to sit next to Carina? Sorry, can you just have a look at my at the camera? And we'll get... Do you want to come in? Are you okay with that?
Come in, Jacob.
Just to make sure he's in the shot. And
we
you
do it
guys
this
just share
way?
mics.
That looks skinny.
Do you look skinny? Are my legs showing? Because I've got...
Who do you want here, both? Or,
If we can, or do you want me to move it? Do you want me to move?
or do you want one on Karina and one on Jacob? And
I don't need to be in it.
okay, so
Because I could just grab me from that video.
oh yeah, you're all in it now.
All right, that's fine.
You're all in it.
All right. So should we just do a wide shot for this one?
Yeah, and then
You can cut.
Yeah. All right. Hey guys, how you going? Jacob,
Hey, hi.
the man behind Karina's transformation every week.
Yes. It was fun. It was good.
What was she like to work with?
Honestly, like Karina is one of the
That's
best.
too close. Yeah, there. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Karina was honestly one of the best people to work with. Not only like did we meet and we automatically clicked, and you know now we've become really good friends. But you know, I've worked a lot in TV. I worked for, you know, I did Real Housewives of Sydney last year, maths, and I'm constantly working with influencers. And you know, Karina was just the easiest person to work with. Like, yeah.
And each week, did she come to you with the inspo, or was it you? Was it a joint collab? Tell us
It
about
was
that.
definitely like a joint collaboration.
Yeah.
You know, with my background in TV, I kind of know what is show-stopping on TV. I really wanted to make people go, like, what the
Yeah.
hell's going on?
And I said to Jacob, I was like, let's do, you know, just the big blowout, 90 blowout glam waves. And he goes, Karina, for the amount of hours of filming, it's not going to hold.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn it. That's why I did a lot of like more of a simpler look, like just the blowout at the commitment ceremony. But he would be like, Karina, it's not going to hold, and we have to be cautious of that and consider all these moving elements because it's TV.
You know, like they,
Oh no, you're good.
yeah. Oh.
You're cute. You didn't have to do that.
Thank you. That's
Just to
very
make
sweet.
sure. Just to make sure.
Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you. Is this okay? If we do it like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, speak into it for me. Just go to
Hello.
screen.
Hi. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, beautiful. Done.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
A lot of people would probably, you know, there's been a lot of comments saying that, like, why? That's so unnecessary.
That's
like,
so over the top, Karina.
It's over the top, but look, I'm all for I'm a perfectionist, you know, and I love doing things over the top. And if you can collaborate or work, if you can work with people that are like-minded. Why would you not want to grow together? And that's all I could have asked for. And with Jacob, he had the same mindset as well as Vincent, and they wanted to grow together. And it's like, what were we saying before? It's about bringing your friends up. Not
Yeah, like we, we're all a team now, and it's about kind of growing together. But, going back to the looks, like, the dinner parties didn't start till what time? Like, it was...
Late.
Yeah, it was late. So I had to make sure my 3 a.m. hairstyle had to hold, like, for 24 hours, basically.
Yeah.
So
which is really
what's
hard.
the secret behind that?
I've
Magic
been
hands.
magic hands, but I've also been fortunate to have a really good mentor, Natalie Ann, and she's taught me a lot. Like, I think, and when you're going into TV, it's really important to have those, that skill set to make sure your work looks amazing on TV.
Which it does.
Thank you.
you.
I really appreciate it because, there's so many mean comments.
Yeah.
But no one's saying Carina looks bad. It's more they're hating on the fact that she is 10 out of 10.
She is
Thank
10 out
It's
of
not
10.
like
What do you mean?
saying, Carina looks terrible.
These people wish it was Carina.
I
You get what I
think
mean?
I'm so inspired by watching American TV shows.
We both are.
Yeah. Like reality TV shows in America.
Housewives.
Let's not
Dubai
even gonna lie. It's like you are obsessed with the Kardashians. Let's not go there.
I'm my own self.
She is her own self.
I'm
Yeah,
inspired,
but you're
by
inspired
them
by-
because
yeah.
I have dark features. I've got dark hair. I'm European. Like I'm curvy. I'm not like a Victoria's supermodel. So I resonate with the Kardashians because they are able to embrace their curves, because I was very insecure when I was younger, because all I saw in the media, in magazines, in front of my eyes were like these real skinny Victoria's Secret supermodels, and my ligaments are not that. They're complete opposite. And I really admire the Kardashians because they've embraced being not as tall, or like the ligaments are not as long, and they've got curves, and I can resonate with that. So for me, it's what works well on my body and helps like my mind and my mental health.
So can I just add, like, I think the Kardashians get thrown around way too much. Like, every girl these days looks like a Kardashian. You've got dark hair, you overdraw your lips.
Yeah.
You wear tight clothes, like they're automatically, like I see it every weekend, when girls come in. And
So how do you encourage or tell people to be unique
I think you
and
just,
not show you a photo of, say, Kim and say, I want
Well,
that?
I mean,
Do you
that's
have
what
It
a-
we
just
did.
shows that they're the most influential people in
They
the
are.
whole wide world. So
they are.
just
I mean,
shows
they've
that.
Yeah.
done it.
Yeah.
People wish they were
Yeah.
in their spot.
Yeah. But how can you like resonate to what someone's showing you and being like, I want this? Well, you can't have the exact same thing because you've got
Everyone's
similar
unique.
features.
Everyone's got a different head
Yeah.
shape. Everyone's got different features. Like when I was doing Karina's hair, I didn't just look at her hair. I looked at her side profile, her portfolio. Can she carry a low ponytail? Can she carry those glam waves? Because it's really important,
My
right?
hair's quite thick. It's heavy.
so
it
thick.
drops easily.
Yeah.
It's frizzy. So he had to use all these products. I was like, Jacob, I need these products because my hair's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just
But yeah, I
stuff
think
like
the
that.
Kardashians just get thrown around way too much.
And you said you used, what is it, you spent 30K, is it? Is that exaggerated? Tell me how much you spent.
No, it's not exaggerated. Do you want to see my bank account? Like I said, I sold my house, and I'm not kidding you. Everything has fallen into place for me. Like if I had not sold my house, I wouldn't have been able to spend lavishly on what I love to spend money on. I love to spend money on good quality. I'm a shopper. I'm European, and I'll keep throwing it out there to the day I die. Like Italian made, yeah, everything's made in China. My brand, I have a clothing brand, Mirab, like it's in my nature. So I love that. And for me, it was like an exciting exercise to make sure that I had different diverse styles each week. And it was like an assignment thrown my way. And I really capitalized on the opportunity that had come my way. So yes, thank God for my savings, but I spent thousands. I bought from all random websites. I bought from Sense, Farfetch, Ottalinga. I bought from Doll's House over in the UK. Like I bought on random websites, and ASOS as well. ASOS Iconic, because Iconic is like next day delivery. I worked with local Australian designers. I would go shopping and I would actively like look around. Solace London, Elijah the Label. Like I wore Skims, I wore Kai, I wore so many different brands, but that's just who I am as a person. And I saw it as like an exciting opportunity because I generally love fashion. So I was like, it just all worked out hand in hand. And yes, I spent a lot of money. I spent a lot.
Jacob, did you have other brides reaching out to you, trying to get their hair and makeup done?
I didn't.
I locked him in as quickly as possible.
I didn't even know that I was doing maths
tell him
from
anything.
the start. Yeah, it was actually kind of happened.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, and I thought, is she going on the Bachelorette? I'm like, is this the Bachelorette? Because she looks really
me all the questions.
glammed up for this dinner party or this.
Beauty
Sorry, this.
gate.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, but
When did you know she was doing maths? Like week 1, week 2?
I think it was.
It was a while out. So I ended up getting my, when we came to Sydney for the wedding, I organised for my mum to pay for my mum, my sisters and my sister-in-laws to get their hair and makeup done for the wedding. And again, that was a very early wake-up call because Channel 9 actually organised hair and makeup for the wedding, the final vows and the press days. So they did pay for that stuff and organise the hair and glam for that. So I didn't use the boys for that. But yeah, for the wedding day,
I did your mum.
Yeah, not for the wedding day.
Oh, no, for the wedding day.
Channel 9, like the production company paid for my hair and makeup and all the other girls on set. So they had their own in-house team that work on so many different TV shows. But yeah, so Jacob, again, I didn't tell them. So he just invoiced my mum and she paid for it, but we just said it was an event that we were doing in Sydney. And then it wasn't until a few weeks in, because I was throwing all these ideas out to him, and then I was like, it's just TV, and he's like, I've got you. And then it wasn't until a few weeks later, and then I was like, Jacob, this is very confidential. I can get sued, like I've signed an NDA, you have to sign one. So I made him and Vincent
She made me
sign an NDA.
Was that whose idea was that? Production or yours? Yours.
Mine. So the reason why I felt a little bit more comfortable was because a dress hiring lady, her name is Lisa, I believe. She reached out to me on Instagram because production were like, do not tell, like speak to anyone. If anyone
No freebies.
DMs
They hate you guys
no
getting freebies.
And I did not. That's what I mean. I paid for everything.
She
and
paid for all your hair and makeup the whole season.
Paid for everything, and I didn't get any freebies. And this lady reached out to me because production were like, whoever reaches out, do not respond to them. Even the media, do not respond. And so this lady, Lisa from Only Dress Hire Australia or something, she was like, I actually work with the production company, it's a lot easier for the girls on, like the girls on the show. And she was like, whatever dress you want to buy, let me know. And I was a bit more hesitant with that as well. She's like, I've signed an NDA as well. And I was like, oh okay. I was like, I'm not sure about this.
It's funny because you don't know who you can trust. So
no,
it's like,
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So, there's so many moving parts, and, I appreciate her as well. And again, I was like, I don't know, I got to be so careful because I can get told off, legit.
Yeah. I want to pause you because Jacob's got to go in a sec.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want to ask you, Jacob, as someone that's helped Carina get through the nightmare of maths, what do you have to say about production? Do you think they should have more of a budget to spend, or what's your advice for, like, because I know you spoke about this before, but seeing how much you've helped Carina, do you think it would actually be beneficial for the show to invest money in top people to make their brides and cast feel better?
Look, like, as I was filming, as we started maths, I was also doing Real Housewives, and Real Housewives glam is up here. It is one of like the most glamorized TV shows. So from going to that to then, production for maths that don't pay for their talent.
But even not even being on set, like with Real Housewives, you were on set.
I was on set.
And you were right
I would
there.
watch in on the Voxies and I'd be there and touch up every single hairpiece, I do think it would be beneficial for maths to invest in a good glam team, maybe a team of people that have worked in media. I just think personally it elevates a show. Like, honestly.
There you go. That's the camera. Say it.
Oh, there?
Yeah,
Go
this one.
That one? yeah, I think it elevates a show, and you know,
What?
it just
Yeah.
elevates a show. And
Well, it does.
Yeah.
It just makes everyone look hotter. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and as I was watching, the dinner parties of this season, I noticed that the girls didn't really do their hair. There was flyaways.
You just notice the difference.
It makes such a big
like
difference.
someone that specializes in hair and makeup, and knowing the camera, like the camera's
Yeah.
a 6K, so obviously
It picks up on everything.
Yeah, the glam team who do the experts, like they even said it. The glam team, the stylists.
Yeah, they get their hair and makeup done,
and
but
they
you
would
guys
talk
don't.
to us
Yeah.
about it when we did the press days, and they could even notice the difference, because when you just do your makeup normally, it shows differently on camera. And
Well, yeah, like
Yeah.
some
There was
people
some-
do have
Yeah, so
acne.
they've
They
got
do. You,
special-
you can
Yeah.
see right through it.
yeah,
If you're not
you
using.
know, people that work, the glam teams who work on TV sets, they've got all the right makeup, the right products and
Yeah, it's TV
understand.
makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, don't
exactly.
you want your
Yeah.
don't you want your talent to look good?
Yeah, I heard that Beauty and the Geek, they actually had a glam team do their makeup and hair each episode.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, like I think
But you don't need to do it each episode, but at least for the dinner party.
Not- Yeah, dinner
it's-
parties are
it's
really important.
I think because it also will allow the girls to take a step back and not have to worry about those two aspects, hair and makeup.
Well, that's
And-
what I'm trying to campaign for, to be honest.
It's like it's easier. They can focus on their relationship, or they might, there was days where you're so stressed and you're mentally just like tapped out and you're drained, that like the last thing you want to do is your hair and makeup. Like, so it would make sense if the show offered that presence and guidance.
And wouldn't it be nice? Like, I know, like, obviously I haven't been through the experiment,
Yeah.
but you have, and like, wouldn't it be nice, going through all those emotions, for you to take those 2 hours
Yeah.
to sit in a chair, to
Yeah.
process, to get glammed up, to feel amazing, to feel
Yeah.
beautiful, and then show up on camera, show up to this dinner party feeling confident?
Yeah.
I think it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It really
Jacob,
does.
was there any brides this year that had very scary hair, or you thought I could have helped with that?
Am I allowed to comment on that?
No, we're
Will
not
I get
commenting.
cancelled? Look,
No.
there was a few. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna name them. They're obviously all getting fixed up now after the show.
Hey,
But
Jackie.
I'm not naming names. There was
No.
some shocking hair, but I mean, I think that happens every season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
So
season.
just because you got to go, and is there anything
Why are
else
you
you want to? Wait, he's got to work.
I've got to go to my actual job now.
Do you have anything you want to add or to quickly talk about?
Should we talk about Glam Pod?
What is it? Yes, we do. This
Yeah.
is the Daily Mail. You
We're
want to talk
doing
about everything?
Glam Pod.
Glam Pod.
So
What's that? What's Glam Pod?
Well,
Yes,
we're actually
we-
launching a pod.
we're going to launch a podcast which talks
Tell the cameras
all
this.
things family, personal issues, financial well-being, mental health, starting a business.
Yeah.
I had no idea what
Me either.
the steps were, and I feel like I have learned so much through my peers, my mentors, my siblings. I want to talk to Jacob about it
Yeah.
and tell everyone how it can start and how you can build and grow.
It's just about the glamour of life.
Yeah.
Me as a hairdresser and Carina, now that she's, off reality TV, like we've had our fair share of glam experiences, but it goes deeper than that.
Yeah, it's deeper.
Dating, personal issues,
Yeah.
like everything we cover, we will be covering reality TV too. But yeah, I think people see us on a really surface level, but there's so many layers to us
Yeah.
where we're going to share on this podcast.
Intellectual conversations, have guest speakers come on the show, and again, just so many people can resonate in their day-to-day living, or if they're feeling stuck in their day-to-day life
Yeah.
and job, they want an out or they want inspiration. We are here to offer that.
We
to
are your glam
everyone.
experts.
Yes, not just from a physical point
Yeah.
of view, but a mental and intellectual point of view.
We can look beautiful as we are,
Yeah.
but we also wanted to show people that we are actually beautiful on the inside, and we want people to feel that way too,
Yeah.
listening to us. So
Where they can resonate and also preach.
preach,
good
yeah,
to
and we're
the
just going to
world.
pray that it all.
We're gonna
Love
pray.
it. Cool.
We're
How
gonna
exciting.
pray.
When are we doing that?
It's happening soon. We can't
Soon. Yeah.
announce anything just yet, but we're
Well,
getting
you've
everything
announced it.
sorted.
Within the next 6 months,
Yeah.
100% we'll be having the podcast coming out on a
Yeah.
regular basis.
Yeah, every week.
Cool, thanks. I'm happy with that.
Anything else
There's,
you want to add?
do you wanna, yeah, I'll ask Karina a bit more
Yeah.
questions, but
Yeah, I don't have to be
yeah,
in it, yeah?
yeah, that's
Alright,
cool.
cool. Thank
I
you
will.
so much.
Sorry, Karina, I'll just get you to scoot over.
Yeah.
I'll go check the.
Should we take this one away? Turn it off?
Yeah, turn it off. We just need to unplug it.
I'm sweating again. Where do we unplug this?
Guys, I have to run.
Love you, Jacob.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jacob.
Bye, I love you.
Bye.
I'll
Let's
speak to
get
you.
a quick photo. Let's get a
Oh,
quick
yeah, can
photo.
we?
Selfie of all of us. Where should we do the selfie?
Here, get it with that in the background, I think.
Yes, wild.
Alright, thank you guys. I love you.
Alright,
Bye,
Karina, go
love
sit
you,
down.
Jacob.
Brenda, I'll leave it, Frankie.
Yeah, thank you. Jacob, I love you. Jacob,
I love you.
say bye. Drive safe, okay?
Bye, I love you.
Love you.
Thanks, Jacob.
Thank you, Ali.
Alright, Karina,
Keep
sit
in
down.
touch.
Alright,
Look
I'll-
at you,
I'll-
director.
No, I need a quick, sit down. This is stressing me out.
What's stressing? Oh,
I need
this.
to fix
Bye. Oh, wait, you can't see my fat thighs, can
No,
you?
you can't.
And my stomach?
Can you move a bit that way?
This way?
Yeah.
Can you just take a photo of it on your phone so I can see what it looks like? Because I might have to pull my stomach in.
It's like this.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's what we
fine.
thought.
Sorry, yeah, sorry. Just I'm a bit sweaty. No. Not yet.
We've got
still
like
going.
5 more minutes.
Wait, what are you doing?
And then, where the fuck is Ryan?
Is this your work?
Oh, is Ryan here?
No.
Karina,
Okay,
quickly,
sorry.
what do you want to? Is there anything else you want to discuss?
What other
So if
questions
you
do
can, if you're in charge of casting Maths 2026, which bride or groom will you bring back?
have? If I was in if I was in charge,
If you were in charge of casting, who would
Yeah.
you bring back?
I would either bring back Jamie or Lauren. I feel like they're great content.
Would you bring them both back?
Both back at the same time.
Yeah.
And maybe they could get married together. Who knows? No, I'm kidding. But I feel like they produce such good content and they work really well in front of the camera. They ad-lib well, they spit out information well. Everything just flows with them.
And you were quite outspoken on the show. Were you worried that you'd become a villain?
Yeah, I still don't know the definition of a villain. So, I hope my own personality came through. There's a lot of speculation saying that I'm fake, that I'm not a real friend, that I'm a diva, a snob, all these terrible things. But at the end of the day, like, I know who I am to the core, and I only ever want to speak good things about people. Sometimes, yes, you can get caught in the mix of being a little bit unfiltered and everything, but what you think can sometimes be said. Try and focus on not saying what you think and just keep it within yourself. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. So that was kind of like my mojo throughout the whole experiment. And some people might say that that's fake or whatever it is, but I know who I am to my core and who my true values and morals, like what my true values and morals are.
Yeah. Cool.
How would you say that I am? Am I fake?
I don't think you were fake with me. Like, you're probably the
Yeah.
same person I met at the start.
Yeah.
You're always very sweet. You were a bit shy at the start.
Yeah, I was super
But then when
shy.
you got comfy with me, you were really cool. So,
Yeah.
well, that was my, like,
Impression.
and yeah, but even with, like, when we'd hang out with Paul, like, you guys were so good. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't feel like you guys were faking it. You were hanging out on days you didn't need to hang out.
Literally, yeah. And we did everything that I would normally do
Yeah.
in the real world on the outside world. We incorporated all of that. So it's just, again, how do you, like, you know, as a viewer, you only see the 1.5 hours of content that's being produced and portrayed. So
Yeah.
anyone can create their own perception about that episode and about that individual. But I think, you know, I hope I've radiated on the show like good energy and not. I don't want to ever be standoffish to anyone. So yeah, I hope
I don't think you're standoffish.
Yeah, I hope I radiated good energy. And yes, I might dress weird, but I love how I dress and I love the identity that I show everyone.
Cool. Thanks. I'm happy with that.
That's okay. Anything else? All right, let's keep
I think we're
going.
good.
We're
What,
good.
what else do you want to talk about?
How did you get into this?
How did you get
I
into
wanna
this? So
ask
you're a journalist. No one knows
Yeah.
you did. What is it? Tell me. So you did go to uni.
Yeah.
Tell me
went
about
to
that.
Uni. I studied fashion first, and then I gravitated to journalism broadcast, so media. But I just always had an interest in producing content, being a content creator. And I have a good eye. I like putting things together, whether that's on your phone, whether that's filming, technology, producing, believe it or not. So yeah, I don't know. It kind of just happened. I was a stylist as well. You know, I'm a woman who wears many hats.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's great about the life I live, because whatever opportunity comes my way, I'm so open to it and I grab it by the horn and I'm like, let's go. Whether it's like, you know, a business opportunity or trying a different career, whatever it is, even though I work for my family business. But I think my true identity formed in my later 20s. I'm 31. So in my early 20s, I was trying to figure it out. I was like, what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? And I did try all different things. Whereas 2 years ago when I started my e-commerce business, Marab, I felt like, okay, this is my true identity and this is the avenue I want to go down. But again, I never told anyone on the show because I didn't want that to identify me.
Well, for people to say that you're going on the show for clout
to
or to promote
capitalize, and it's
your fashion label.
Yeah.
I actually heard one of the brides from this season reached out to you
Yeah.
to try and get some freebies.
Yes, yeah, I got a sneaky DM.
Who is it? Name and shame. Sorry, you've got to do it.
Jackie messaged me. Yeah, Jackie messaged me saying...
So when did she message you? Like with this early on or?
It was like a few weeks in. So towards the beginning part of the
Yeah.
show, of filming, and she was like, hi, I'm one of the brides for math. I'm one of the maths. Sorry. Hi, I'm one of the maths brides of 2025. I love your pieces. Would love to get some sent to me to wear on the show. And I was like, wow. And I actually print screened it. And I was like, is this for real? Like, we had only just spoken about it because I remember one commitment ceremony. We were in the lift. It was Jackie, Rhea, and myself with our producers. And a lot of the weeks we would go to the commitment ceremony together in one car, us three girls and Veronica as well. And Jackie said to me in the lift, she's like, Carina, you really need to like start a clothing label or something because your style is insane. You have the eye. And Rhea was like, oh, she actually has one, Jackie. And I was like, yeah, I've got one. I just don't tell anyone because that's not my identity in this experiment. Like, I came here for the right reasons and I'm not going to be boasting about that. Like, it's just not me. So yeah, and then we started talking about it. Then I learned about Jackie's business idea. I was like, do you have Canva? Have you created the logo? Do you have Shopify?
Well, that's right. You were helping like some of the
I was
other
like,
brides
have you
like
got an
put their
ABN
business
number yet?
plans in.
Have you paid ASIC to have it? Like, have you paid for the domain? All this stuff. Like, have you got the trading?
So did you
name?
help Jackie with her jewelry company?
I gave her a lot of ideas and like and outlets kind of thing and what platforms to use. Don't use WooCommerce, use Shopify. Shopify is the easiest thing to do. She said she bought all her samples and she had just needed to then photograph them and that kind of thing. So yeah, it was great conversations to have, and I'm always open to help everyone around me. I'm not going to be a gatekeeper. I'm not going to be like, no, this is my business. Absolutely not. I want everyone to win, especially those around me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you about Veronica because I know you're friends with her.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, what do you make of her edit?
Yeah, I think Veronica definitely received a bad edit. 100%. 100%. Veronica, I have a good relationship with her. We got along really well. Again, I had intellectual conversations with her off camera. We joked. She's very funny. She's like her like, how do you say it? She's very quick to the punchline. Her laugh is like my laugh. Apparently Jamie likes to take the piece out of my laugh.
I love that episode where
I
they
know.
like, remember that laugh where they just like...
I was like, thanks for letting me know. That's fine. I do have a crazy laugh. But Veronica also, like, her laugh is hilarious and we just joke. It's so easygoing with her.
So, like, she did get stitched up a lot, like, her and
Yeah.
Elliot. Like, they show... Like, was she
Yeah.
like that to him? What was your experience?
I think there's a lot more to the story when they only show a minute or two snippet of each essential like scene, right? When you're on the couch in your apartment, or if you're around the dining table, they're going to show like the hardest hitting moments, and obviously there's a lot of build up between two people. One's not just going to sit there and play victim or like, you know, cry me. No, there's going to be takes two to tango. So it's just unfortunate. It makes sense because, you know, Elliot didn't have the best experience at the beginning. So then he came back into the experiment and he had to become a little bit of a hero.
Yeah.
And look,
And do you think his redemption was, like, what he was worthy of that redemption?
I heard what all the husbands were saying from the boys' night, from like their bachelor party, and so I did kind of judge Elliot at the beginning and was more team Lauren at the first dinner party, because it was a shitty situation for her to be in. But moving forward, as you know, you spend more time with those people in the experiment and outside the experiment, at the reunion, you know, we all hung out. I hung out with the boys, Elliot, Adrian, Paul, myself. We went and had lunch. I bantered with all of them. Like, they were super easy, super laid back, super chilled. But maybe just as a couple, you know, Elliot, Veronica didn't work, and neither did Elliot and Lauren.
Yeah.
And that's okay. They will find their missing puzzle piece.
So what advice do you have for next year's cast?
I
Can I
would
look at the camera
say,
there?
yeah, advice for next year would be like, make sure that you have a lot of ashwagandha tablets on you, which is all natural herbs to help you sleep at night, because your brain will not stop ticking. I would say that make sure that you focus on your mental health and that you work out a lot, because that will help, you know, the volatile environment. It is a pressure cooker environment, and, you know, it's not a normal situation to be in. But I would say enjoy the journey, ride the wave. There's lots of highs and lows, but there's also amazing highs from meeting the rest of like the production, the rest of the cast, and becoming friends with all of them. I really loved meeting the runners, meeting the rest of the crew, the soundos, the cameramen, my producers. You know, I had really good relationships with all of them. So embrace that and just enjoy your experience, and remember, it's going to be over before you know it.
So can you 100% trust them? They're also telling you to stay away from me.
I'm a very trusting person, which might mean that I'm quite naive, but, you know, I'm a strong woman as well, and I know what's right and wrong. If I don't get a good sense from you, I'm not, you know, I'm going to have my walls up. I'm going to feel anxious. My gut is like my best friend. It will literally alert me. So there was definitely highs and lows in the experiment, from day-to-day filming and having to be on call. And I would say work on your time and your organization, like your time skills, because I'm terrible with my what's the word, with being punctual. So work on your punctuality and being on time, because that's very crucial.
What about some actual advice they can use?
That is good advice.
No, advice like, what do
Like
you,
what?
just about, like, what advice do you wish you had?
What advice do I wish I had?
that could have helped you?
I don't know. I had a really good experience. There was moments where I was like, what the heck? Like I need a home break. I want to fly back to see my family. I need a big hug. I don't know what's real and what's fake. But at the end of the day, like overall experience, I would do it all over again. Maybe not like a love relationship show, because you are speaking about your feelings every second of the day, and also comparing is a very detrimental thing on people's mental health. And you do compare in the experiment your relationship and what level you're on. Some people are like easy breezy, Jackie getting flowers every second day.
Wasn't she buying herself flowers?
Yeah, well, I found that out. I didn't know that at the time, but now I found that out watching the episodes. What other advice can I give? Make sure that you're prepared, because it's not easy. It's not easy with the cameras in your face and you're sitting on the couch. Believe it or not, like when I'm like not, I'm too scared to say stuff or open up, I smile. It's so weird, and you'll notice it. I just smile, but that's me like shutting off, because I'm actually not good with expressing my feelings, especially when I really, really like someone or I'm in love with them. I'm like, this is our little bubble in our world. So I didn't really understand that at all. When there's cameras on you, you've got the audio guy in the bedroom, you've got your producer in the other room. Like it's intimidating. It's a lot.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
What else? I just want to ask how you pass the time at the dinner parties when you're waiting around all day in a tent. What was that like? Going to those dinner parties, what was the reality like? Were you sitting in a tent?
Yeah.
Like, tell us about it.
Yeah, the reality of that. So in some of the press photos that you've taken and some of the other media have taken, a lot of people are asking, what are the bags that they're holding, right? So in the bags, you've got another pair of shoes, which are flats, which production recommend to bring, and snacks and other foods and board games. And so that's all in the bags, and then like your makeup, your touch up and stuff. But when you're in the tents, they actually have boxes of snacks like popcorn, chips, lollies. You've got Uno, you've got like Scrabble, you've got lots of drawing, like all the drawing books and stuff. They supply all of that. So, at one stage, Dave and Billy had board games. So Dave bought board games. Not board games. Playboy. No, wait.
Game Boy.
Game Boy. Wow. Don't add that.
Yeah.
At one stage, Dave and Billy, Dave bought the boys a Playboy. No, wait. Game Boy?
Game Boy, not Playboy.
Oh my God.
They're two different things.
Yeah, sorry.
Karina.
I'm like,
While we're
clearly
on-
my
hold on.
head's at some
Yeah.
other place. So they were playing the Playboy.
Game Boy.
They were playing the Game Boys, and then everyone was going around taking turns with that. But we just made sure that we spoke a bit, and we just like ate a lot of food in the tents. We were hydrated. We would try and pass things over to the next people in the tent.
Passing a bag.
Yeah. Not a bag. What? No, like the Game Boy over.
Did you see the article
What?
of Ray, and everyone's like, she's got a bag
Yeah, what
of
was
coke
that?
hidden under her back, under her top?
Absolutely not.
I know.
Yeah.
It was the mic. I think
I
some of the girls had like a heat pack too or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because there were stages
can
where
we
it
get
was-
to the bottom of this?
Yes.
Do you think Ray had a bag of coke?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. And I'm saying this hand on my heart, Ree absolutely would not have had whatever you just said. But I remember there was one commitment ceremony where I was like so anxious, and I was like, I'm not going to remember what's in my brain. So I wrote down some notes to focus on, because when you're there on the couch in front of the experts and 60 crew members, you forget your words. You word vomit, and it doesn't make sense what comes out, right? You're a bit intimidated. Well, I was.
Yeah.
These people have, degrees, and they've been doing this for so many years. They've had life experience. They're a bit older than you. So I made sure I wrote notes, and I put it on a piece of paper, and I put it in my pocket. So in my bra.
Okay, Jackie.
I know, but I never whipped it out, didn't I?
Yeah.
I didn't reference it.
What else?
The tents. They
Do
were
you-
fun. You
Were
had to-
they? Miranda was complaining about
I
the
loved
tents.
the tents. I really did. But again, I also loved the food that they supplied. We
Was
would
it
get
cold
meals.
and no? What was that
No,
like?
they were
Like
healthy meals.
what foods were you actually getting at the dinner parties?
Dinner party, loved it. So you'd get a meat dish, a chicken dish, you get prawns, and you get the salads and the vegetables.
And alcohol? How much alcohol
Not
can
a
you
lot,
drink?
not a lot. So they gave you like 2 crafts, a white and a red wine, each, maybe 4 couples. And then it was like they weren't topping them up. Like we would say, we need more wine. Please bring us wine. Like we would actually say that to our mics, as well as like if you need to go to the toilet, I need a pee, please, kind of thing. And then they would make sure that the camera wasn't on you. They'd have to pan the camera, and then you could quickly leave.
So who gives you the okay? Just someone.
The producer.
So
yeah.
are they in the background giving you a thumbs up, or
Yeah.
are they in your ear
No,
with an earpiece?
there's no earpieces at all. No.
Gotta ask.
That you just have to keep giving them the eye because it's very dark. It's a dark environment, and then you've got the cameras on. What's that panel? Yeah.
What was the hardest part of the show?
The hardest part, I loved all the filming aspect. I loved that. I loved all the cameras. I loved the miking up every day. I loved speaking to the producers. I think the hardest part were the voxies because Karina likes to talk a lot. And
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, her sentence needs to be like a one
Yeah.
sentence answer, but I just keep going and going and going, and then 10 minutes later I get my point across. So I think the voxies was the most challenging thing. Also, I had to download vocabulary on my iPhone.
What's that?
It's an app where you learn new words every day.
Oh, you're
because
funny.
I was like, how many times can I say I'm feeling good? Or my day has been nice or nice or nice. I'm like, I need to learn better grammar. So a few of us did. I remember TJ gave me this app, Elliot. We
Yeah,
were all-
wasn't TJ saying darling 20 times?
Oh, that was hilarious. That was all real as well. We all were like, hey, drink to every time he said darling. And then it was so funny and how they put it together. That's exactly how it went.
That's funny.
Yeah. Poor Beth.
What do you think of Beth?
I resonate with Beth. She's very easygoing. She's, a nice, lovely girl. I did the home swaps with TJ. So
Yeah.
I went into Beth's space. That was her safe haven, right? Her apartment. And I was very uncomfortable with that. I opened up, in the bathroom, the window, the drawer, whatever. I opened it up and all her fake tans in there, all her toiletries are there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't feel comfortable being in her space. But, at the end of the day, TJ was so respectful. He made me feel so at home, and it was a really nice experience.
Do you think
Beth
he
is
let her on?
lovely. Pardon?
Do you think he let her on?
Well, they didn't put that to air, but TJ asked me, do you think Beth and I will, do you think we'll work outside the experiment? I said no. I said to him, I don't think you will end up with her. Like I said that it's more him. They didn't show that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Crazy, right? I kind of got the inkling. Yeah, no offense. Like I love TJ, but when you're reading articles about how many women he slept with and he actively spoke about it, was it like 200 plus
200,
people on
yeah.
Big Brother? Like I judged him at first. I was like, oh no, he's not in here for the right reasons. Until you actually get to know him, and TJ's a cool dude. He's a great person. Yeah.
Cool, thanks. I'm happy with that.
Good.
Sorry, yeah.
That's
It's
okay.
only because Ryan's outside, so it's stressing me.